All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. Hope you all are having a good day so far. So I had some requests to talk about Game 3 of the NBA Finals, and I guess let's do it. I'm going to do a lot of it on this intro. I'll try to make it somewhat quick, but it is what it is. I got a couple things to say, and I've been reading all your guys' comments, so I feel you. Here's how I feel about Game 3 and the way it was officiated. Now, I've been watching every single freaking Spurs game the entire playoffs, right? And one thing I have to say is every time Wemby's in the paint, his arms are being held down. I noticed this going back to the Minnesota series. Then it was happening from Hartenstein, like obviously, like we all saw that. Like that guy was actually like two-hand like pulling on Wemby's arms. And now I see it still happening in the NBA Finals. Now, he's never getting those calls. And I've been noticing in the NBA Finals, he's trying to signal to the refs every time he's getting held, and he's not getting the calls. What's happening after that? He starts to flail. So he starts to like flail and flop and sell the calls, and then they're blowing the whistle. Now, you all know how I feel about flopping. So with Wemby, it's not like, oh, you get a free pass. But this, like, to me, this signals such a big problem that I don't even know like how to fix this. Because if they're not going to call fouls that are clear fouls, and they're not going to blow the damn whistle until the guy flails, then I feel like the entire league is just teaching all these young players a lesson, which is you have to flop. If you don't flop, you're screwed. You know, and I mean, I've been talking about this for a while now, and you know, that's kind of how I have been feeling. But to see it happen to the player who is talking about playing ethical basketball and all this, and the only way he's going to get a foul called is by flopping, I don't even know what to say for the future of the NBA when it comes to stuff like this. I really don't. So that's what I wanted to say about Game 3. Was it officiated fairly? It's hard to say. I feel like Game 1 and Game 2 was pretty fair. By Game 3, watching it live, even though I am rooting for the Spurs here, at least I'm rooting for a good series. I feel like this was more so the NBA saying, we don't want to sweep. You know what I mean? Like we don't want to sweep. We want to milk this for what it's worth. So I think they did push the advantage to the San Antonio Spurs, and you can see that with free throws, and more clearly you can see that with how fast the Knicks were in the penalty in the fourth quarter. Okay, so I'm just trying to keep it completely real. Yes, I'm a Wemby fan, but I'm a basketball fan first, and these are all the things that I noticed, and there's a lot of shady stuff going on. So without further ado, let's actually get to the reaction here, because I wanted to see what Johnny Arnett has to say about Game 3, and this one is titled A Much Meaner Approach, which, well, I'll be able to talk about the other things, some of the more positive that I did notice in Game 3 of the NBA Finals. By the way, before we get into this, New York Knicks fans, oh my God, I underestimated the Knicks so much. Like, you guys, like, man, y'all are looking fierce. Anyways, guys, link to the original video from Johnny Arnett's going to be in the description like always. Also, shout out to channel members. I got a new shout out to do here real quick. And like I said, it's a long intro. It won't always be this long, but this time we got to do it. Okay, we got we got a couple new channel members here. So we got DB884L. What's up, man? You've been a part of the community for a long time. Good to see you in the member section. And then we got St. Bernard 89. Welcome in. Thank you very much. And JK Reacts 11. Welcome in, everybody. I appreciate you all. I thought there was just one to do, but there's 3. So that's awesome. I think that gets us to 100 members. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. Let's get into this. Let's talk about Game 3. And I know it's going to be a spicy comment section, but I mean, hey, we all just speak the truth here, right? That's the goal of the community. We speak the truth. So let's go.
You obviously got Knicks fans very riled up throughout the game. At one point, there was a colorful chant directed towards you. It seems as though you may be New York's newest villain. Is that kind of the ultimate compliment?
I guess I'm nowhere near Trae Young level, though.
Maybe I'm overthinking this.
I love that kid.
Possibly. But I'm looking at him, and I'm looking at the expression on his face when he looks up, when he's answering these questions, and it's almost like, yeah, look, I heard all the stuff after 2 games of this, that Victor's getting his butt kicked by Karl Anthony Towns, and that how will this 22-year-old ever handle a crowd like this in Madison Square Garden? And he had kind of that knowing look like, okay, I'm here, I'm ready, and we took care of business tonight.
Yep. And before we get to this awesome intro, allow me to say 2 things. One, yeah, I was one of those harsh critics for game 1 and game 2. I've been complaining to everybody. You probably see me in the comments complaining about it, that Wemby's playing soft. He's playing perimeter game instead of playing a post game. And that was driving me crazy in game 1 and game 2. And I figured the only way that they can make this a series is if he gets his ass in the paint and plays to his size. He did that in game 3. And that's where I started noticing all the holding, everyone holding down on him. And then that's where it leads to the flopping. However, he did play big, especially in that first quarter. That's what it's going to take for him to do moving forward, away from this season and into the following seasons. For them to be champions, he has to play big. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
So in a situation where the Spurs absolutely had to have it,
they
took home Game 3 with a final score of 115 to 111. And I'm excited to say that every single game in the NBA Finals so far has been very suspenseful and very exciting.
Absolutely.
I was recently making a video for the members where I was talking about some of the greatest NBA Finals of all time. And on a couple of those, like the 2016 NBA Finals, for example, that went to 7 games, most of those games were blowouts. And so it's really nice to get one that is very competitive. And honestly, if things continue the way they're going and this makes it to 6 or 7 games,
he said the thing,
we might be looking at one of the greatest NBA Finals of all time.
Yeah, I agree. And, a lot of people in the comments or people in like personal friends of mine or whatever, they all know, like, going into this series, I've made it very clear. I want to see Wemby win it. However, I really like the Knicks. Like, right now, they're my second favorite team. So if the Knicks win it, hey, man, I'm going to be really happy for New York fans and just the Knicks in general. If the Spurs win it, I'll be happy for the Spurs, obviously. But like what I've been saying this whole time is the thing I want the most is just a good freaking series. That's why I didn't want to see OKC in there, because I the whole narrative was just going to be all about the flopping. And I didn't want to see that because I felt like it was a good playoffs leading up to this. So it's sad that we're getting there a little bit. But imagine if it was OKC, like flopping would be the only thing we'd be talking about in the NBA Finals. So far, every single game has been a blockbuster, epic, badass game. And if we can get like Johnny Arnett said, if we can get 6 or 7 of these games, that would be fantastic, because this is one of the best matchups I've seen in the finals in ages.
Now, the Knicks' historic run of 13 straight playoff victories comes to an end.
I know, finally. That was a crazy run, man. And almost every single game was a come-behind victory for these guys. Almost was again in Game 3, but they came up short at the very end, but they almost did it.
Meaning that the 2017 Warriors record of 15 straight is now safe. Now, make no mistake, the odds are still very thin that San Antonio can pull off this comeback. Now, instead of needing to win 4 out of their next 5 games, now they need to just win 3 out of the next 4 games. And I do expect New York to play much better in the 4th game.
Yeah, and full disclosure, this is the day after Game 3 right now that I'm reacting to this. So I'm going to try to get this out tomorrow before Game 4. So at least my opinions are out there then. Because we all know by Game 4, after that, the narratives are going to shift. So the only way the Spurs make this a true series, they have to win the next one. They have to win Game 4 in New York. And then that cancels out all the home court advantage stuff. And the home court advantage goes back to the Spurs. So actually the pressure would be on New York if the Spurs can win Game 4. If they lose Game 4, this one's say goodbye to the NBA Finals. It's probably going to be done in 5.
What's crazy about the NBA, though, is how little it takes to determine the champion.
That was a big one.
Yes, the Knicks are up 2-1 at the moment, and the next game will be played in New York, but if Wemby doesn't make a bad pass in Game 2, and if he doesn't put 3 inches too much on that final jumper, then the Spurs would be up 2-1 right now and have home court advantage in their possession.
This is why more so than anything about this year, like right now, the Spurs have exceeded all of my possible expectations. I did not imagine they were going to go this far, this young. Like their stars are 23 and 21 years old. Like it's insanity what they're pulling off here with a rookie head coach. Like I'm blown away. But you could definitely see the growing pains. In Game 1 and Game 2, you could see those crucial moments where these guys looked young. For the first time in quite a while this season, the Spurs looked very young, a little immature, and, you know, like they need more experience, and they look inexperienced. While the Knicks held their composure, and they looked like the way more experienced unit. And they should be, by not only by age, but with multiple playoff runs with this core lineup. They've taken their bumps, bruises, and heartbreaks along the way over the last couple of years. That's why I kept thinking the Knicks, it's only a matter of time. But yeah, this might be it. This might be the year.
They're not joking when they say it's a make or miss league. After the first 2 games, we had talked about Cat's chances at the Finals MVP.
He's playing great.
But those came crashing back down to earth as he finished the game with just 11 points on 10 shots, while being completely dominated by Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, and that's all Wemby has to do. He has to play big. But yeah, the Game 1 and Game 2, absolutely. I was actually, for the first time in my life, I was praising him and saying, like, he's playing big. He's playing strong.
You can tell Wemby had a new game plan heading into this contest, as all of his early shots...
Hold on, I want to see that again, because I want to be fair here. Let's see if he's getting held.
Wemby had a new game...
Left hand? Left arm? Or, I'm sorry, his right arm?
...plan.
No.
Heading into this contest.
No, it's just a lot of contact.
All of his early shots were around the basket. He only...
Okay, wait, this one. This one stood out to me when I watched it live. Okay, hold on. All right.
As all of his early shots were around the basket.
Oh, the push. Okay, I see it now. So is he going to get a 2-hand push right here? That's not that much. That's not that much.
Basket. He only had 4 3-point attempts this game, compared to his 9 in Game 1 and his 6 in Game 2. He must have seen all the comments that you guys have been making on this channel, as many of you have been critical.
Bella, what's up? Yeah, you think of the top guys, they have a go-to move. Jordan fadeaway to Dream Shake. You might have put this. I read a comment just like this too in my feed. Yeah, I agree. And what if this is the same comment I'm thinking of, I'll respond the same way here. Jordan didn't have a signature fadeaway until, let's see, probably like I'd say 89. So about 5 years into his NBA career. The Dream Shake came about also 5 or 6 years into Hakeem's career. Shaq is a ton. Yeah, Shaq is Shaq. Shaq was doing that in college. But yeah, I see what you mean. And Bella, hopefully he does get a signature move. I see some post moves of his, but I'm not a big fan of his post moves. I feel like he's way overcomplicating the game. And it has felt like that for 3 years. He's making the game harder than he has to when he can simply get a low post position and either dunk on someone's head or do an easy fadeaway for a clear uncontested, jump shot from about 4 feet away from the rim. That's what I want to see him do more often.
Criticizing him for consistently shooting too many perimeter jumpers.
Yeah, I am too.
On the night, he had 32 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and 3 blocks on 11 of 18 shooting from the field. He reminded everyone that he's still the best player in the series and he's not going to go down without a fight.
Agreed.
Speaking of which, he does really need to manage his sudden outbursts though. Because apparently, Victor is trying really hard to establish himself as one of the dirtier players within the league. We all saw what he did to Naz Reid's throat earlier in this postseason, but now he just did this to Jalen Brunson, and every single ref on the court missed it.
I saw this live too, but I didn't have this ability, so let's use it. All right. Whoa. Okay. All right. Right now they're embracing each other. They're holding each other. So right now it's fair. Let's see. Okay. Oh, this don't look good. Oh. Ooh. Okay, yeah. There's no excusing that. He straight up grabbed the back of Brunson's head and threw it down. Yeah, that one, you're lucky you didn't get a flagrant there, buddy. Jeez. Crazy thing is like, and this is where like I have a problem with the whole flopping thing, is if Brunson would have actually sold that more and went flopping, they would have called that, and they would have called that whatever, not a technical foul, but a flagrant foul, the flagrant one right there. And that's a problem because like that, it just encourages Brunson and other players like Wemby and everybody else to like really flop it, because then they'll get the call. Because why didn't Brunson get that call right there? We all saw that live. Like it was an obvious call, at least a foul by Wemby.
And every single ref on the court missed it. I'm hoping at least he gets fined, because if he wants to be universally celebrated as the emerging face of the league, then he really needs to clean this up.
Agreed.
Because these are some truly bad optics. Now, although De'Aaron Fox was very inefficient, and a lot of Spurs fans are acting like they're done with this guy and just want him to be traded.
I know everyone wants Dylan Harper to take his place right now.
I do think he offers a lot of poise under pressure for this very young team, and he showed that at the end of the game as he hit the jumper that essentially iced him. As for the New York Knicks, I expect a much greater sense of urgency in Game 4. It was weird how flat and lethargic they were to start this game.
I think, honestly, I think some of that had to do with the hype. Because, I mean, for anybody who watched this game live, like, that's the loudest I've ever heard a basketball arena in my entire life. Like, these fans were roaring. Okay, so I don't know if they've ever experienced anything to this level. Now, that also is a testament to San Antonio for overcoming that. But in a weird way, that put extra pressure on the home team, which was New York, to deliver to that crowd. So, but at the same time, if we're following the formula of what the Knicks have been doing the entire playoffs, they tend to sleep in the first quarter. And then they just come back and rally, you know, and I've been waiting the whole playoffs for this to stop working. But so far, until Game 3, it worked in Game 1 and Game 2. It's been working. So, I mean, and once again, it just about worked. Like, the Knicks were right there clawing away until the very last buzzer of this game. But what would happen if the Knicks actually started out hot and had a good first quarter for once in their lives? Like, I feel like they'd be completely unstoppable at that point.
Especially considering how fired up their crowd was in their first NBA Finals game since 1999.
Yeah.
They need to be looking at this next game as a must-win.
Agreed.
Yes, the series would only be tied at 2-2 if they lost.
Yeah, but then, I mean, right now they have the advantage. They lose all the advantage, and it swings back to San Antonio if they drop Game 4.
But San Antonio would then take back home court advantage and momentum of the series. And it's starting to appear as if Wemby is beginning to figure out this defense as well. So in other words, New York can't play it safe and play for a decision. They need to go for the knockout. OG and
I agree, and they need to go for the knockout right there in the opening buzzer. Now, one thing I'm curious to see what happens in Game 4. I have not really seen Wemby in the playoffs so far play big. Like big man, you know, like tough 2 games in a row. So I'm curious to see if he's going to break this trend or is he going to get back on the perimeter again and drive me nuts in Game 4. I'm worried he's going to do it. But the formula is clearly to stay in the post. They win when he plays tall.
OG and Jalen Brunson have been electric as they put up some great numbers in Game 3. But if you ask me, moving forward, the X factor in this series lies in the matchup of the bigs.
Yeah, and I noticed Game 3 they stopped playing like Cat basically didn't get the ball. You know what I mean? And I think establishing him as a threat is very important for the Knicks. It worked in Game 1, it worked in Game 2. And then all of a sudden, all the spacing with guys like Brunson and Bridges, like they get some clear open shots because a lot of the intention's going down in the paint. I mean, the formula worked in Game 1 and Game 2. I was just surprised they reverted back to like old school ISO ball in Game 3.
Karl Anthony Towns will have to do much better in Game 4.
He needs the ball.
Try to make Wemby a perimeter shooter again and live with the results. But you can't let him have so many easy ones like he had in this game, because that gets their whole offense going.
Yeah.
If Wembanyama keeps hitting over 60% of his shots, then New York will almost certainly...
Hold on. I want to take a look at something here. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about, you guys. This has been happening the entire playoffs. So he's going to have to break yeah, there you go. He's got the arm loose. But this is what's leading to flopping, in my opinion. Is because, I mean, you guys notice, there's no whistle blown here. So everybody that's guarding Wemby has had the green light to just hold his arms. Hold his, pull on his arms. And he's starting to flail because of it.
He's hitting over 60% of his shots, then New York will almost certainly blow this lead. So now it's your turn. Who do you think wins Game 4 in New York? I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section below. Shout out to the members for supporting my channel, and thanks for watching as always.
Yeah. Great video by Johnny Arnett. To answer the question at the end, who do I think is going to win Game 4? Okay, if I'm a betting man, I'm actually betting on the Knicks to win this, just because the problems I'm seeing with the Spurs are more so like maturity and like development wise. Like I think I think at this stage, the Knicks looked a lot more mature, poised, and experienced versus how the Spurs are. And I think a lot of that just has to do with age. So, if the Spurs were facing a team, I mean, honestly, the biggest surprise is the Spurs overcame OKC. That one is shocking to me, and it's really impressive that they did it. And that's also the thing that makes me wonder, like, do they actually have a chance in this series? Because they might, because they did get it together. There were points in the OKC series where they looked immature and they looked, inexperienced. However, they overcame that mountain. So could they do it? Yeah, they definitely can pull this off in the finals. Do I believe they will? No, simply because of how impressed I am with how New York has been playing overall. Like Game 3 was not their best. They're not their best game. But the fact that they almost beat the Spurs still, despite them not playing that great. I mean, I don't have Bridges' official numbers in front of me, but Game 1 and Game 2, Bridges annihilated. Game 3, it was like he was barely there. So if Bridges just plays average and actually hits a couple of his shots, it would have been game over in Game 3. The Knicks would have won easily. So because of those reasons, if I'm a betting man, I would bet on the Knicks. But my heart still says, like, hey, man, if Wemby and the Spurs could figure it out, that would be awesome. And if it could be done in an ethical way, I'd be even happier. Because more than anything at this point, I want an ethical champion. That's really what I want to see in the NBA again. And like I said, what I'm seeing with Wemby is really disappointing me. Not so much with Wemby, and I know that's going to piss off some of you guys, but if you guys have been watching these games, I'm talking the entire playoffs, one of his arms are constantly being pulled and yanked at, and he's not getting any damn calls. All right, it was fun we all joined together and criticized Hartenstein for doing it in the last round, but now nobody wants to do it because we don't want to call Cat out for some reason. But I'm going to keep it fair across the board, and that's what I've been seeing. for the last 3 rounds of the playoffs. The real question is, why won't the refs call a damn foul when he's being held like that? Why won't they call it? Why do they have to wait until Wemby flails out with his arms raised up, you know, trying to get the ref's attention? Why does it take all that before he gets the call? Because it sure looks like flopping. And we don't like that. So why not give him the call when it's legit? You know, it's legit and he's not flopping. Give him the damn call in the moment where it's happening. If we could all see it live, the refs on the floor should be able to see this crap. So I just don't want to see Wemby turn into a flopper because they're not giving him any calls. You know what I mean? I don't want to see it, and I could see that psychological struggle happening in his head right now. You know, like what else is he supposed to do? I don't know. It's a tricky situation, but anyways, I hope for the sake of for the future of the NBA, Wemby keeps it together and he doesn't start like all out flopping. You know what I mean? Like faking contact, because that's a flop. Remember. So in the pure definition of selling contact, here, Wemby's not initiating the contact, he's being grabbed and held. So then he's flailing to get the ref's attention to signal that he's being held. That's one step away, all right? One step away from the true dark side, which is faking contact, and that's or initiating the contact and then flailing like SGA. But we'll see what happens, guys. We'll see what happens real soon, because I'm gonna get this out right before the morning of Game 4, so tomorrow morning. So anyways, guys, I'm gonna head out. I want to see what your guys' opinions are on this as well. And you know what? If you guys, for those of you hardcores behind the scenes here, I'm gonna look at a couple of these comments on Johnny's video. Brunson was grabbing his jersey and pinning his arm. Wemby just pushed off. Dark Wemby is here. This is why you get mad. He doesn't go into the paint more. Yeah. Watch how hard Brunson is tearing at Wemby's jersey. Yeah, I know this is the problem, that they're not calling the fouls when it's happening. Anyways, this is like the third vid I've seen where somebody is complaining about Wemby not taking no shit for the competition. Okay, I was absolutely expecting New York to come out with too much confidence. Okay, so no one's not excusing Wemby, but I really doubt he does stuff like this just for the hell of it. Yeah, I mean, true, but that's no excuse. I'm pretty sure guys like Draymond aren't hitting people because it's fun. They're doing it because it's a bad reaction they're having. They need to correct this problem. Let's see. Did you also miss how Brunson holding Wemby's jersey? Yeah, okay, a lot of people talking about that. Anything else, guys? Older fans ask for 90s ball. Here you go. I don't want to hear the complaining. I don't really get that one. I love both teams. Okay. Brunson elbowing the shit out of them kids. Okay. Okay, so there's a lot of narratives going on here. Okay. I was expecting, honestly, some more anti-Wemby stuff in the comments, and I didn't see that. So that's exactly what I was searching for. But anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in the comments of this video, and I'm curious how you guys feel about all these things that are taking place. Anyways, outside of all this, hell of an NBA Finals so far. I'm very happy as a basketball fan, and if we can get more games like this, I'll be a happy camper for the short term. Anyways, guys, I'm out of here. Like the vid on the way out. Subscribe if you want more content like this. And most importantly, is to be water, my friends. Peace out.